Okay. Okay, we're holding page 80. We'll start from Hey. Ach, Hagdomos Hashiz, Bora Mian Kiesh Lodom Hazeh Bore, Bro Miayin. He says, Hein Sholosh Hagdomos is the three premises which is needed to that it can be deduced that the world has a Bore, has a creator. Brought existence into existence from non-existence. Achs mehino. Ki adover eino ses atzmo. Something doesn't come about by itself. There's always cause. Hashenis. So somebody asked, what about God himself? Nothing comes about into existence unless somebody brought it into existence. Look, if I ever take vacation, you know who's going to fill in for me. Okay. Now, let's see. Yeah. If something comes in, I said something. If something exists in existence, somebody had to create that existence. Okay? God doesn't exist in existence. You understand? He is everything. There's nothing exists outside of God. So he's always been here. This exists. This exists. How did it come into this existence? God doesn't exist in existence. God is existence. That has nothing to do with time. Has nothing. I understand that, but you have to understand the difference. One is you exist. Something exists. It may be, relatively speaking, unlimited, right? The world, is it unlimited? On a relative level, it's unlimited. The galaxies, we're talking about millions and millions and millions of miles, endless. It is finite. So that existence exists within an existence. How did that come into existence? Somebody had to bring it to you. God doesn't exist within existence. God is everything. So there's no, how did he come? He was always. No, yeah. No, we're not coming to prove God. We're coming to prove that somebody brought this about. We're not coming to prove that. No, so he asked another question. So what about God? How did he come into existence? He didn't come into existence. God is everything. Once everything, it's not something that exists within. Not something that came about. It was not, right? He doesn't have to be created. But I'm saying it's a different argument. It's a different point. No, something that exists has to start somewhere. But what's called existing, it exists. It's more than he exists. Okay? Just that's an important point. We don't know, again, if anything is not infinite, that means it exists within. If you believe in deities, a deity has limited power, right? Again, so it's no different than anything in existence, no different than the smallest object, right? Same thing. So therefore, as a result of that, whoever that being brought it into existence, some being had to bring it into existence. Is it a finite being? So we'll go back to the original. So who brought that being into existence? So we have to come to a point It's a being that doesn't exist. It exists, but not within existence. That being is everything. But who? That being was always here, always.
Just like you have an argument for something that exists and needs to be brought to existence, why you don't have to make the same argument? I don't follow the argument.
Let's leave it just for now. Hashenis. Ki ascholos yesh tachlis l'misporon. He says causes are limited in number. V'kevon sheish tachlis misporon, yesh lam rishon shein rishon lefonov. Not sure what this is. This is a little more complicated. Cause a limited number. Since their number is limited, they must have a first cause before which there is no other. I don't know. Not sure what that means. No, he says causes are limited in number.
If it's countable.
Understand that. Look, you could have this. You could have one cause for one part of existence, right? You could have.
Was there a finite number of causes?
No, let's talk about. But again, see, we're going back to before. You have endless things in existence. Each one has its own cause, right? So again, we're going to track it back, but each one of them has a starting point. So what is the cause of that?
But isn't that the point? Like if you look, the current thinking is Big Bang. But if you look at what created the Big Bang,
That they never answered
they never answered. That's the point. And that's the
because
point.
they haven't gotten there yet. That's their answer. They haven't figured that out yet.
So
There are many things we haven't. That we'll figure out someday. But it's science. You understand? That's the difference.
But the causes of the Big Bang is only be those conditions to exist. It can only be one cause of that. Isn't that what he's saying?
Let's talk about the Big Bang. The Big Bang doesn't bother me as the Big Bang. No. You ignite, you have a detonator on dynamite. It explodes. Why does it explode? Because you had a detonator which detonated the explosive. So you have the Big Bang. In terms of the materials that were contained within in matter, that created this explosion. And that Big Bang brought about all existence. So that's okay. But the question is about what brought about all that matter that interacted that there should be a Big Bang.
There can only be, and that's what he's saying in a second, there can only be one cause of all that matter being there at that time, in that place, with that sort of, those sort of characteristics.
Let me ask you a question. Maybe there were different causes for the different elements within that, which ultimately caused the explosion.
Still not.
But again, but
Each one,
At least those causes have to be.
right.
okay. So I don't know what he means about.
Each one you have to go.
I mean, it's a little complicated the way he expresses it. So it's really saying the same thing as what he said the first thing. It's the same thing as he just said, right? If something exists, something had to cause that existence. So what are we getting to numbers? How many? If there are a number of things, it had to be one cause. So you're really saying the same thing, just you're saying it in a more complicated way.
But he's not, because he did 1, 2, 3.
To be continued. Yeah. I'll let you.
There's a differentiation between us and Hashem, obviously. So how can Hashem, how do people understand Hashem is everything if there's actually differentiation?
That's the question. There's no way to understand that. this way I mentioned, Chaim Volozhin discusses this. If you focus on that too much, you could actually, either you could go mad, or you could actually lose your belief. We have to deal with it in our own reality. There's conceptual, and we have to deal with our reality. The way we have to, we see God there, and we're here. That's the way, because that's the way He wants us to function. But in understanding, He's everything. How do you reconcile it? It's beyond. Like we say, God is in the future. How could He be in the future? The future hasn't taken place yet. It's not fathomable. As a finite person with limitation, it's not possible to understand. I'll give you an example. Right? You have a person with a above average IQ. Then you have a person with a super genius IQ. And you confront him with a problem. You said, look, based on my capacity, this is beyond me. You have to go with the person with the super genius IQ. It's okay. So God is that infinite IQ. Okay, same thing. The things which are unfathomable as a human being. It's like somebody goes to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, why do I have to keep kashrus? You know, if I understand it, I'll do it. If not, do you agree God dictated this at Sinai? Yes. I mean, you have to understand. I mean, if you don't understand, that means, okay, do you call up your, when you consult with an expert in the field? You don't understand it. You don't do the deal. What are you consulting? Right? The expert says it's okay, you do it. But God says this is what you're supposed to do. You know, I have to understand it. Otherwise, I don't do it.